It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I actually love you, but
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
What's going on, everybody? Hello, and welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. My name is Randy, and this is the Survivor 49 pre-show as we get you hyped up for episode 3, premiering in just under an hour here. And tonight, I am joined by two incredible women. I am joined by always Tori. Hello, Tori. How are you doing today?
Hello, Randy. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to talk about this episode with you. And Randy, this is our first time this season actually doing the pre-show together. So
Yeah.
we're excited to be back. Like, the gang's back together. Let's go.
Because Tori was at a watch party week 1. I was at a friend's birthday party week 2, which, Tori, I did want to say thank you so much for filling in. You absolutely killed it. Yes, queen. And then we are also joined by season 44 Castaway, Lauren. Lauren, how are we doing this evening?
I'm doing awesome. I'm excited to be here to talk with you guys. Hey, that intro was so phenomenal. Have you been having that?
Yeah, it's our new intro
oh
for
God.
this season. We got to show kind of the parties and, definitely bring the community with us. We have a lot of fun here. So thank you, Lauren. That just made my entire day.
That was so cool.
So wait, first thing I have to ask, Lauren, how have you been? It's been a minute since we've had you on the podcast, which we are so honored to have you on. Thank you for being here. How have you been? How's life been?
I've been good. I am a single mom and my boys are growing. Okay. They are bigger than me now. Well, like my oldest, he's taller than me, going through the teenager phase. So I'm like dealing with that, girlfriends, all that stuff. And my younger son, he's about my height, but they're big. They're eating me out of my house and home. I'm just busy with them all the time. Football mom, running behind them. But other than that, everything's been great. Like trying to keep up with Survivor and still do things that I love to, but mostly just being a mom.
I absolutely love that. Coming from someone who I am like this with my mom. I just saw her yesterday, and she was a single mom. So I know the work that gets put into that. So Lauren, I applaud you. And I respect the keeping up with Survivor on top of like the mom duties and stuff. Keep trying to keep up. I bet it could be like super crazy.
It is crazy. Like I'm trying to just find time to watch it on my lunch break or randomly whenever I can. So but it's been good. I've been able to do it. So
have they wanted to go on Survivor now? After seeing you?
Heck no. They barely like to do the dishes, man. Hard work for them at this point. Like it probably is too tough. Maybe when they get older, they've shown an interest in doing like the behind the scenes. I don't even, man, what is it called?
Dream Team.
Yes, Dream Team. But you gotta like know somebody to get in or know somebody that knows
it's like tight. It's very tight knit.
Yeah, so maybe, if I'm still connected, maybe like they can do it if they want it or if they can try to, but they've showed a little bit of interest in that, but that's it.
Okay, maybe that's their stepping stone to get on. We'll see second generation someday of like Survivor players. But I wanted to let you guys know, if you're tuning into this, you can join what I like to call the Ancient Voices chat. It is our live chat. Gemini's in the chat saying, wow, hi, Lauren. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Ollie, is that my queen, Lauren?
Oh my gosh. Hey, Oliver.
And then Georgette adds in, hi, everyone. Ollie also adds in, it's giving babes and buffs with Tori here. And I'm just taking his position here today. And then Gemini, single moms rule. Yes, they definitely do. All right, ladies, while people continue to get in, and if you are here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. I have a little icebreaker for you guys to let people get in before we actually start talking about tonight's episode. I am going to quiz your guys' Survivor knowledge here. So I'm going to see if you can you guys name the 10 Survivor players, U.S. players, who have played the most? amount of days.
Oh, we got this, Lauren. We
Oh.
have got this. The most amount of days, you said.
Yes,
Okay.
U.S. Survivor players. So anyone who is from Australia or played Australian Survivor like Shawnee does not count. They have to be from the U.S., but there is someone from the U.S. who played Australia who's on this list.
So it's got to be, okay, Lauren, Parvati.
You go first.
Oh, okay, like chime in though, chime in. I don't want to like say too many names, but we got to agree. Parvati's got to be on here.
Poverty for
Parvati is number one after her Survivor AU versus the World with 165 days played.
Holy smokes. Can
That's
we say like
insane.
Jeremy?
Queen.
Jeremy was number 12. He did not make the top 10. I know.
That was close. Okay, good guess though. Okay, it's got to be, so like Jeff Probst was like announcing people on, I think Heroes Villains, and Amanda was on, like in the people that he shouted out. So was Amanda on there?
Amanda Kimmel is 8th with 108 days
good.
played. Yes.
Okay.
So she's in 8th place though. That's like lower than I
That's
thought.
low.
Think
low,
Survivor Legends. Think Survivor Legends here.
Ozzy.
Rob.
Ozzy. Okay, Ozzy is 4th with 128
Yes.
days. Boston Rob is 2nd with 152.
Okay. Can we say Sandra?
Sandra is 5th with 126.
Okay.
I know she won twice, so she might as well be on there.
The chat is trying to help out as well over here. There's
Oh,
some hints.
Serene does.
Marie is 3rd, 136.
Dang,
Tony.
okay.
Tony is not in the top 10.
Oh!
He had his second Game Changers really hurt him. He only lasted like 5 days.
That's true. Okay, how about Tyson?
Yeah.
Tyson, 6th
Yeah.
place with 116 and a half. I don't know
Okay,
how
how
that
many
happened.
do we have so far?
Okay.
So you guys have the top 6 plus 8. So you just need 7, 9, and 10.
Andrea.
Okay. Got it.
Andrea was 11th, but that is such a good guess.
That was good, Ollie.
That was
Okay.
such a good
I'm gonna
guess.
throw a
Mommy,
random one. I know he's not one. Rupert.
Ruber is 10th at 104 and a half. Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
that didn't even cross my mind. I don't know why.
You guys
Okay,
need 2
Ruber.
more. They're both women. One of them is from older seasons and is related to one of the people you've said already. And the other one's going to be on 50.
Related to one of the people that we said already.
Who did we say already?
Can't be Amber, can it?
It is Amber Mariano,
Oh.
9th place, 107 days.
Okay, somebody.
What? I would not expect. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense because she made it really far. And fun fact: Australian Outback, and this doesn't get enough credit, was the longest season of U.S.
Mhm.
Survivor.
Yep.
So
And you got to
Wow.
think, Winners at War, technically she was still in the game because of Edge of Extinction, which really,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. See, I wouldn't.
okay, so I'm stealing this from somebody in the chat. Could Aubrey be that last person?
Aubrey is on Survivor 50, and she is on this list. Number 7, 111 days.
I have to send it to the chat.
So to give you guys the full rundown, number 1 was Parvati Shallow with 165 days. Boston Rob was 2nd with 152. Sari Fields 3rd, 136. Ozzy is 4th with 128. Queen Sandra is 5th with 126. Tyson 6th, 116 and a half. I don't know how that works out. Aubrey Rocco was 7th with 111. Amanda Kimmel 8th with 108. Amber Mariano 9th, 107. And then Rubert rounds out the top 10 at 104 and a half.
Okay, we kind of crushed that. I mean,
Queens, you absolutely killed it. And thank you for playing along in the chat as well. So, see, Lauren, that's something we just do a little icebreaker. Get everyone loosened up here. You killed it. You did absolutely great.
It wasn't that hard. I was like, man,
It
I thought
actually
it was
wasn't. It
so
actually wasn't
hard.
as I thought.
I
And
actually
then-
just met Rupert. I love him. So
Oh my
much.
God. Being from Indiana, I can't believe I've never met
Right.
Rupert, but I hope I can at
I
some
stayed
point.
in a house with him for a couple days, 3 days. Yep.
That's so fun.
Lauren's living the dream out here. Let's see some of these chats here. So Gemini adds in, so Sari could pass Rob. She could.
Oh,
With
yeah.
50, if Sari makes it to the end, she will, I think, barely pass Boston Rob. And then we got Zerf saying Tyson has that extra half because Blood versus Water technically had 39 and a half days. And Ollie adds in the half is because Blood versus Water, they did a day 0.
Makes sense.
So, but it doesn't make sense for Rupert. That's the thing. Rupert's at 104 and a half too. So I don't know. Someone do the research there. But ladies, let's get to Survivor 49. We have about 45 minutes since it airs. Lauren, I'm going to go to you first, and then Tori. How are you enjoying this season so far? We're 2 episodes in, so very small sample size. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I'm actually really loving it so far. The first 2 episodes. I mean, it looks like the red team is kind of dominating. What's their names? I say red, blue.
Are you thinking red or are you thinking yellow? Yellow's Hina. They've won every challenge. Red has been.
Well, hold on. So maybe I'll put it like this. I like the personalities of the red tribe and the blue tribe. Okay. But the yellow is killing it for sure. Like even at this last episode with that disadvantage on them, they still were able to come out on top. So that was pretty phenomenal. But overall, we get to see like the blue tribe a lot with Jake and with Sophie and Annie because they're going to tribal a lot. So I think I'm kind of leaning towards them a little bit more, just like liking like their personalities just because I can see them a lot more. But at this point, I am Team Red.
What is the red tribe's name? Uli? Is it Uli?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Uli, Keely, and then Ina. Yes.
Okay, yeah, because on my notes I only have Hina. I don't know the other ones.
That's the only tribe that matters at the moment. Tori,
Right.
what are we thinking? We didn't get a chance to talk last week, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I will add in something interesting about the season is we just saw the Beware advantage, which we can touch base on a little bit here. But for the most part, and I wonder if they're kind of testing this out for 50, for the most part, they have kind of held the advantages back. We haven't really seen many idols. We've had one mention of an idol, which I think is really interesting thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually said that on, I can't remember if it was the after show or I was on Survivor Social last week. So I don't know. I think I might have said it on both shows, but I agree with you, Randy, that they might be setting it up for Survivor 50 because that's one of the things that we voted on. And I personally am not really a big advantage person. Here and there, great, because it can lead to some fun strategy, but sometimes it gets to be a little bit too much, the point where I even get confused, who has what advantage,
Right.
who has a vote even. I don't know. It just sometimes gets to be a lot. So I also really appreciate that, Randy. And I don't know, for some reason, and some people might disagree with me on this, but I do think that we're seeing them do maybe a little bit better job of allowing us to get to know even the tribes that aren't going to tribal constantly. I still feel like there's a lot of big personalities developing on Lauren, you mentioned red. We're getting to know and love the red tribe. We are not seeing a lot of yellow, but we did see some moments last week that might come to fruition a little bit more this week. So yeah, I'm just appreciating seeing. Obviously, we're getting a lot of the blue tribe, but I am appreciating some character development and things like that. I'm personally enjoying it. I like it. I think there's a good balance of everything.
It's always those disaster tribes that we get a lot of TV interaction with. Lauren, you weren't on the disaster tribe your season,
Man,
which is blessed
I wish I was.
They hog all the TV time, but I did want to bring up as well, ladies. I think what was really interesting is last week we had our first journey, and I saw a lot of people bring this up. A big problem that I've had with the journeys thus far is when someone goes on a journey, like they said on the episode, you usually are at risk of losing a vote. Jawan himself was like, okay, I can go. I don't really want to lose my vote, but I'll go if you really want me to. And I thought it was interesting where they competed in a challenge, which I love seeing this type of challenge. This is probably the closest we're going to get back of those classic challenges of throw something in a net of someone that you're going against. Usually it was that answer this question right and you can pile on to this person. I was waiting for someone to be okay, I'm piling up on Jake because this dude is huge. Let's just get him out. Didn't happen. They were kind of going evenly, but it was kind of a classic Survivor challenge, which I love seeing. And then the 2 losers get sent back, not losing a vote, which was a blessing. They could have, but we saw Jawan's decision of whether to take a vote away from someone or hurt a tribe and give them a disadvantage, which I think he made the right choice. I think that's too early in the game to be picking enemies that early. So ladies, I'd love to hear what you thought about it, but that's the type of stuff that I think's making this season good so far, is it feels like Survivor, in a sense, are taking aspects from back in the day and they're bringing it to the new era, making it, they're adding a little twist in it. It's not the exact same, but it feels like they're testing some stuff out in a sense. Lauren, what did you think about the journey and everything last week?
The journey I was really impressed by, like you two, because you haven't seen that, or we haven't seen that at all, or really at least nothing physical. It's always been like a puzzle or some type of quiz or something. I don't know. or you just put your hand in something and draw something out, but it was cool. I was waiting for them to like team up and be like,
yes, let's go against Jake.
Yours. But then after that, they would have to like go head against head. But I thought it was interesting too that Jake, he was pretty confident. Like he was like, this dude's got heavy hair. And Jawan is uncoordinated.
He was talking smack, like mad smack.
And I'm gonna tell you, Jake like that in person too. He be talking all that smack.
I kind of love that though. I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, I love it. But he is overly confident, which works for him. People still love him, But I just thought that was interesting. It showed a lot of his personality too. But I was waiting for the team up. Didn't happen.
I thought it was going to happen when Jawan and Matt, like if you look at the competition, you have Jawan, Matt, and then Jake. I mean, right away, Jawan's like, I hugged Jake, and this dude's got muscles on his muscles. And so I was waiting for them to be like, I was waiting for Jawan to look at Matt and be like, hey, yo, Matt, let's just get Jake out, and then it's us versus. But like, man, if you're Jake at that point, could you imagine both of them teaming up? Maybe again, it's like too early to make enemies. Let's keep this fair. Tori, what did you think of the journey overall? Obviously, you shared your thoughts on last week's after show and the pre-show, but just because I wasn't there, I have to hear your opinion on it.
I got to tell Randy, and I got to tell everybody else in case they didn't see. Randy, I was going to agree, like the last thing you just said is one thing I was going to mention here, which is that I was kind of thinking too, I'm like, are they all going to like pile onto one person? Because like, I'm kind of here for that, like I want them to like, create a little conflict or like gang up on somebody. But I do think it's a little early for them to make an enemy out of Jake, especially if there's like, you never know what Survivor's going to throw at you. Like if there's like a tribe swap and like, I don't know, Matt or Jawan ends up on a tribe with like all of Jake's people, it's like Jake can just have them get that person out. So I don't know. You just never know what's going to happen. I think it's too risky at this point in the game, especially when like alliances are still a little wobbly. Like you don't really know. Like you don't really know who you can trust yet. And you don't really know, like, I don't know. You just don't know. So, but I did really enjoy this journey overall. I liked it for all the reasons that you all just said. And then I'm going to point this out for maybe like the third time. But again, in case somebody didn't hear on the other shows that I've been on this week, I just need to reiterate one last time. And to all of the people over at CBS, I appreciated so much that Jawan had something to go back and show his tribe. Like, after
oh, yes.
That was like beautiful. I don't even know if they like thought that much about it or if a lot of viewers like really cared about it, but I love that because like we just don't need people coming back and like making up a story and then people like not believing the story. We just don't need it anymore, or at least not. Like I really thought that was very refreshing.
It was a change of pace.
Yeah, it was.
And then it's too easily like on my season. Okay, mine was totally different, but they could have just easily came back at the challenge and talked about it, or somebody like how they only had one person on the bench, but they still could have had some conversations like, hey, what happened here or what happened there. But I did appreciate that too, like that he has something to show for it. Because I mean, like that kind of drama at this point is kind of unnecessary. But I mean, it could have been good TV, but I'm glad they did have that to show.
I know that I would like, if I was on Survivor, I would lose my mind if I came back, just being like a super honest person. And it drives me nuts when I'm telling the truth to someone and they don't believe it. Yeah. I know it would drive me nuts if I came back and I'm like, guys, I lost. I got nothing. And then I hear later on that they're like, Randy's got an advantage. I'd be like, are you kidding me? No, like I got nothing. You want me to empty my pockets? Like I can go buff only and you can see I got nothing. Like what are we doing here? So no, that was my little rant to be like, if I'm ever on Survivor, listen to me. I'm telling the truth. But no, we had to say goodbye to Annie last week as well. And something about this season that I think is different from the new era thus far is the first 2 votes have been very straight down the line. This is who we're targeting. This is an easy vote out, which I think is interesting because I feel like you usually get that with the first vote, especially with these smaller tribes of 6, where it's like, okay, let's get the majority. If it's 4 and 2, that person on the 2-person alliance who they're not targeting isn't going to go against the group. So usually that first vote, easy out. But the second vote, I feel like usually it's kind of a surprise or something, where it feels like this season the endings have been a little bit anticlimactic, which I think is going to get more interesting because Jeff stated before the season even began, he said this season starts off like hot weather-wise, but then ends hot with a lot of drama, where we have 48 that started so hot pre-merge and then kind of cooled off towards the end. So later on, we're going to make our predictions about who we think's going home. But Lauren, Tori, do you guys have anything to add on about how the eliminations have gone thus far with Nicole and then Annie? And we got this blue tribe that just can't seem to win a challenge.
I was a little bit underwhelmed with with it. I wanted him to play that idol because I don't care. Like he should have played it, and then it would have been him and Annie, and then Jake would have had to come crawling over. I mean, Jeremiah. I love Jeremiah, but I'm just like you can kind of sway him. I feel like he would have still came with them too. But that would have been such a great move, for him to have on his shoulders, and like I think that Annie would have stayed loyal to him. I think that was his only true person that was loyal to him and his true alliance. I think at this point he doesn't have a strong alliance because he lost her. But if he would have lost Sophie, then if she would have left, then they would have had the strongest bond, and nobody would have. Well, I guess, and then that would have let everybody know about their bond, then, because it's undercover at this point.
I didn't even think, Lauren, about like how it could benefit him to do that move, but you make an excellent point. That would have been a huge move to make in the game. Henry adds in here, first 2 eliminations were super predictable, but then Zanz adds in, yeah, Lauren, we wanted to see that Legends pull those moves and get away with it. That would have been my pushback, though. Is it too, being someone who's played the game, Lauren, is it too early to make that big a move? Because, it would have been a legendary move to pull off, but do we think the target would have been too big on his back had he have done that?
I don't think so. I think that it's early and like they're losing. So I mean,
go for it.
They're probably going to keep on losing. So if he would have lost Sophie, then they probably would have lost again. But then it would have just dwindled down to probably him and Annie. Or it was a bigger chance that it can dwindle down to him and Annie, or him and Annie and who else do they have? Jeremiah and Jake?
Yeah, Jake, yeah.
Okay, and then, I mean, we don't know what happens tonight, but it looks like something with the blue tribe. So then it could have dwindled down even more, and it could have worked out in his favor. But I think it would have been beneficial to him, and everybody didn't have to know the story. If their tribe just kept dwindling down, then I mean, it would have just been them and their story to have, like they didn't have to tell anybody about it later in the merge, or they could have made up whatever they wanted to make up.
Yeah. I like your idea because I didn't even really think about that, like the possibility of Alex even playing his idol for Annie. I don't know. Like, obviously we saw him with the idol. We knew he had a bond with Annie. So like, could it have been a possibility? Sure. I just assumed it wasn't going in that direction. But
yeah,
your point is interesting because in that situation, if you would have done that and they got rid of Sophie, which by the way, I love Sophie. So I was like rooting for her not to leave. Not that I wanted Andy to go. But
Rough puzzle
know what I mean.
performance, though. I will say she had a rough puzzle performance.
And it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, but we still love our girl. And anyway, but in that situation, so if Alex would have played his idol for Annie, what I think would have happened is like Jake would have had no choice but to continue to work with Alex and Annie because he loves Alex so much, and I don't think that he and Jeremiah have much of a strong bond. In fact, like we even saw Jeremiah kind of being like, I know I'm kind of at the bottom of this 4-person alliance and like whatever. I kind of feel like I'm open to other options if they present themselves or if there's like any sort of a way to switch things up. So yeah, that's interesting. However, what I will also say is that I'm a person, I'm definitely in the minority here, but I'm definitely a person that doesn't mind a straightforward vote just because like I feel like sometimes in especially like the new era, like we see people like wanting so badly to make these big moves. And it's like, for what? Like just do what's best for your game. You don't need to be flashy about it. Every single vote. Like, do I want to see some flashy, cool moves? Of course. Like every viewer makes that. But I'm all for like seeing the players understand like what's good for their game in that moment and just doing what's good for them. Like it doesn't make the absolute like craziest best TV. Of course not, but that's just where
I do want to add. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Lauren.
I just want to add that everybody knows about his idol. So like it'll be better for him in my opinion, it would have been better for him to toss it at that point because then he's gonna have it. Everybody's gonna know he has it. So now he's a target just because he has that idol. Even going into the merge, they said he can use it until like 5 or something. But I mean, it's not gonna last that long, you know?
No way.
So,
yeah, when everybody knows about it, no way.
Right. So if it was a secret, then I can see him keeping it. But this would have been perfect because I mean everybody knows about it. Play it, big move, whatever. Be done with it.
All I was going to add on to Tori's point was with the straightforward votes from an entertainment side of things, I would much rather these straightforward votes happen early in the game. I mean, you think of Classic Survivor, you had that a lot of times. Like the first 3 or 4 votes was like easy peasy, lemon squeezy out because you would have that alliance from a tribe kind of pick 3 people. These are going to be the first 3 people to go. You would have annoying personalities who would become very easy votes. You don't get that as much nowadays. You don't have like active people annoying you. You think back in the day, it was like, man, there's this one person. I swear if they're still here tomorrow, I'm going to lose my mind. So I don't mind seeing them also. I just prefer them to be early game, which so far it has been early game. And then the last thing I will say about Jake, I said this week 1, Mr. Shoe Bandit is 2 for 2 on whoever shoe he steals goes home. So I will be watching in episode 3 to see who gets their shoe stolen. Lauren, if you got up and were missing a shoe on Survivor, how mad would you be?
I would be pissed. Okay. Because you don't understand how important them shoes is. Like when you're walking, you have to have those things on in the water and walking on rocks. Like you can cut your foot. Like those shoes, I don't even know how they walk around with no shoes on because you don't know what you're walking on. And I mean, I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but I mean, even like I just said, near the water, like I don't know what's coming up soon, like with what they were showing the snakes and stuff. Like you need some shoes, okay? You need
wear them damn shoes.
Yes. And it's crazy. It's kind of funny though. Like it's funny because he takes like one shoe. So it's like you got one and not the other. So yeah. I mean it's like it's gotta be somewhere. Somebody's doing it. But I'm interested to see if like it becomes a big thing again this episode, like if they talk about it.
Tori, I know it's not the same like someone's phone and someone's shoe, but you were in Atlanta when I lost my phone at Ron Clark Academy. And Lauren, I was freaking out. I don't know, Tori, how much you saw. I was like, I live in Indiana. I don't know how I'm going to drive back if I don't have Google Maps or whatever. And so I was like running around the great people at the school. We were like, calm down. We'll find your phone. And they're asking the kids. And I'm running the entire school. So like, I'm a person, if I lose the TV remote, I'm literally like freaking out. I'm like, where's this damn thing at? So like if someone took my shoe and it like, I feel like someone should know someone's stealing them. Cause when Annie's shoe got stolen, they're like, oh, this keeps happening. It makes no sense. I'm like, someone is stealing shoes. Like,
Right.
Tori, how mad would you be in that instant?
I would probably honestly try my best to play it cool. And I'm also a person, this is like something I need to probably not do so much, but like sometimes if like I hurt, like I'll stub my toe or something, I'll be like in public or I'll do something like that like really hurts. And I'll do everything not to tell somebody how bad I'm hurting.
To hold it
And
in.
so I feel like if I was out there with no shoe, I would try to just like tough it out, probably with like tears in my eyes, just like walking around shoeless, like even though Lauren says it's probably impossible, so I don't know like that. But yeah, that's probably where I'd be at for a little while at least, until maybe I start actually crying, and then people are like, okay, like let's stop effing around. Like where are the
We'll have to wait and see. Bruce adds in Lauren looking beautiful as ever. Bruce, why do you never talk that way about me? Come on, why don't you ever get on and talk? And then Zerf adds in, imagine Jake steals his own shoe and then randomly goes, this is interesting. This is interesting because I was thinking when I was watching the episode, I was like, Jake should steal his own shoe and make it a big deal and be like, who? Someone's stealing shoes, guys. I can't find mine. Just to make everyone think it's not him. But then what I wanted to talk about next is Zan says, I think Jake is getting snaked out of the game this episode. If that happens and he steals his shoe and then later on in the episode, he's the one that has to go. I mean, the crazy storytelling. Survivor writers, Survivor gods, crazy. So let's talk about that. That was the big thing we saw in the preview for tonight's episode is we heard, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what people said, but someone was like, oh, that's a poisonous snake or something. And we did hear there was a description that I think Dalton Ross posted, or maybe All Winners Survivor, one of the sources that said there's a medical emergency this episode, which would be crazy if it's caused by a snake bite. Lauren, did you have something to add on?
Yeah, I looked up that snake.
No, it's the printed snake. It's like a zebra stripe.
It was banded because they told us about two different snakes when we were out there. Like before you go, you get like, y'all so stupid. They give you this big binder and they're like, look through this binder and make sure you pay attention to everything and take it all in. And then you just go, like how are you supposed to remember all that stuff? But one thing I did remember was some snakes. So they had the snakes that lived in the rocks, and those were like the dark, just like solid color ones. And we saw some of those, but those banded ones, I looked up the name banded sea crates. That's what they're called, a banded sea crate. And if you look it up, they're 10 times more venomous than a like cobra or something.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so they are super, super venomous. So I don't know if it had anything. I mean, I'm sure since they showed the snake that it has something to do with like what's going to happen in the episode. But like they would say, stay away from those. If you see it in the water, like leave. So I'm hoping that nothing happened with the snake because that would probably be really, really dangerous.
Oh yeah, it would probably be awful. And I'm not someone who, my grandma, bless her heart, she is terrified of snakes. I'm not. Spiders are my weakness, but I don't know what it is. Snakes in the water do freak me out. There's something about that does freak me out. Let's see. We got comments. Bruce says, sorry, Randy. Bruce, we'll talk about it later on the after show. All right. We'll make up on the after show here. You guys have all these comments flying in. Gemini adds in, hasn't someone been taken away and treated and returned to the game before? In Australia, yes. US, I haven't been on the show. I haven't gone through the pregame stuff like Lauren has. As far as I know, if you have to go to a hospital, that is when you are done. Like if they can treat you. What'd you say? Oh,
Bruce for next season.
Bruce said, imagine if it was a head knock. Would love to hear your thoughts, Lauren. Shots fired. Oh my gosh. No, but like that's what I know because if you remember Matt, also from Lauren's season.
Yes.
Yes. So they were able to treat him, but it got to and return him to the game because he didn't have to go to a hospital. But once it got to the point he needed to go to a hospital, that's when they said, okay, you're done. As far as I know, that's what it is.
Yeah, and James from Heroes Villains. Well,
yes.
Yeah.
It does.
Because the infected finger, right?
His knee.
Knee. It was knee. Yeah.
It was that season. Yeah. But I don't think he went to a hospital to get that wrapped like initially, and then I think they just voted him out because of his injury eventually. So yeah. Anyway.
Because they have a medical tent, don't they, Lauren? They have like a medical tent you can go to. It's just if you have to leave the game to spend time in a hospital with how the game is, especially with how short it is nowadays, they're not going to return you back in the game. Like it's just.
I mean, you're out of the loop of everything too, and like it would, I think, kind of too be an advantage for you if you got to leave and come back, you know. Because you would have to get fluids, have to get like nutrition. And
Yeah.
But there is a medical tent, but it's not on the island with you. So like it's only at challenges or at tribal. So if something did happen on the island and it was an emergency, like it would take time for a doctor to get there. It'd be like 10 minutes, you know, by boat. Because I remember with Matthew, we had to wait for somebody to come. And then I know y'all talked to Josh later. Josh, they didn't show him, but he like fainted and like blacked out and went backwards.
Oh my God.
They had to call somebody to come up. I was right there with them. Yeah. They had to call somebody to come. And it took like 10 minutes for that boat to get there.
Wow. Yeah, shout out to Josh. He will be on the podcast this Saturday.
Saturday.
I almost named this Survivor 44 week, but we have Tiffany on the show tomorrow who's from Survivor 41. So I couldn't, but it was almost Survivor 44 week. Zerf adds in, Omar said if a venomous snake like that bites, it's serious and they likely need to be medevaced for that immediately. So we'll just have to wait and see what ends up happening here.
If I can just say really quick though, I don't know if anybody else saw, I feel like people aren't talking much about this, and maybe there have been other previews that I've missed, but the challenge that I'm seeing in the previews for this week only have 3 people competing. Now, obviously, they're all standing, the things I've seen are all them standing on a platform at some sort of a puzzle. It seems like at the end of a challenge or something. I don't know if they're teasing it and not showing the other leg of the challenge so that we think it's just a 3-person challenge, but the other part of it, ended somewhere else where they're not standing on the platform or something.
Who's the 3 people?
Not Jake. So
and the type of challenge it is. The type of challenge it is one that I think you've done it, Lauren, which is the jumping off the high dive.
Oh, don't remind you wrong for that. You know I've done it.
Well, you did it. Did you sit that one out?
When you jump off the thing and you gotta grab the little.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Oh,
no,
that wasn't a shot. I just saw it.
They had this slow-mo coming off the thing, looking stupid.
Well, now when you say that, I remember. I should have messaged in the private chat first. Lauren, this is not a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even remember, Lauren. So
that's fine. I didn't remember. I was just she competed in this, right?
But it couldn't have been him just sitting out because they don't have a lot of players. It would be somebody else sitting out. So I don't know.
It'll be definitely interesting to see. And it's a challenge. It's become a staple of the new era, this high dive challenge that is iconic. I feel like I would either do the splits accidentally, or I feel like all of it would just shoot up my nose. It's not one that I would want to do personally, but
have y'all ever jumped off of something into the ocean?
Yeah, well, not the ocean. I did Mountain Dew Rock in West Virginia. It's along these rapids, and it's called Mountain Dew Rock because the famous Mountain Dew commercial where they're jumping into a lake, that's where they filmed it. And it was super high up, super, it's daunting. And that's what I envisioned.
Up your nose. Like,
What'd you say?
it's like Mountain Dew shooting up your nose. Like the salt water is the worst.
That's the other reason why it's called that.
Yeah.
I just know I'm ashamed to admit that when I'm jumping off a high dive or something, I start flailing and I always land with my legs split. And then I'm in pain. And then everyone's like, you got to bring them in, Randy, like pencil dive. And it's just like, it never happened. So I'd be in a lot of pain, or I would belly flop. I might be a belly flopper.
Okay.
So, all right, enough talking about Randy's pain and how he would not be good at the challenge. Okay, we do have about 15 minutes here before the episode goes live. So we have roughly about 8 or so minutes before we get off here. So myself, Tori, and Lauren can kind of go and get ready for the episode ourselves. Tori, I will go to you first. Who are you enjoying right now? Who's your favorites? And then also, who do you think is going to go home this episode?
Ooh, okay. Tough question for who's my favorite, because I have a few. So I'm definitely going to name at least 3 of them right now, and I might say more. So I love Alex and Sophie on Blue. I am really rooting for both of them. I think they have really good personalities, and they're both like really strategic. And I think I would personally get along with both of them. And then this is kind of somebody I'm surprised to be, not that I like didn't think I was going to like him or whatever, but like, I don't know, like I'm loving Nate like a lot. Like I think that he's so good. He's so level-headed. He's really he's really self-aware, like to the point where he's like, I'm like not really understanding like what these young people are talking about, but I'm going to do what I can to still get in with them. And he's doing a really good job on like connecting with them in a way that he's able to. Like, he's not trying to be somebody that he's not, but at the same time, like it's kind of like stepping back and understanding like what he needs to do in that moment to connect with them. So I really like him a lot so far. So those are the 3 I'll say for now, but I am enjoying a lot of this cast.
And who do you think's going home? Who's your prediction of going home? She avoided that on purpose.
Sorry, I was reading some of the comments really quick. Sorry. I thought you were talking about Lauren first.
Oh, no.
So who do I think is going to go home? Okay, so I think that Blue is not going to go back to tribal this time, and I'm just going to like say that to give them like the benefit of the doubt, because also
You're too nice, Tori. You're too nice.
Maybe, I don't know, but I think I'm also just kind of like tired of seeing them go to tribal. Like I want to see something new. I just want to mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to say Red is losing. And this is different than what I said on the app. I can't remember if it was the after show or a Survivor Social, but I'm going to say somebody different from Red than I originally said. And I'm going to go play it like a little safer and say Juwan. I originally said maybe Shannon, just because I think that I really like Shannon, and I think she's fun. She kind of reminds me of Courtney from Panama, but I do think she's going a little too hard on like the let's do yoga, let's pray for this crab, like that kind of stuff. And I do think that sometimes like maybe people will drift away from her because of those kinds of things and bond over maybe not liking some of the things that she's doing. Sorry, Shannon. But anyway, that's what I originally said, but instead I'm going to say Juwan, because even though he kind of got back to his tribe's like good graces, I think that he was enough on the outs and enough like separated and kind of like rubbing people the wrong way to the point where like I think he's going to be the next out or the first out from Red.
Zanz adds in the chat, praying for the crab was a boss move. The island will reward her. Lauren, what are we thinking? Who are we liking so far? Do you have a winner pick? And then who do you think's going home?
I don't have a winner pick just yet. But I really like Nate as well. I'm looking at my notes on the side. But Nate is very self-aware. Okay. So he knows that he's the older guy. He's trying to fit in with the vibes or all the chill and the different words, but he's trying to be adaptable. He's funny. He's not overplaying. He's kind of playing under the radar. He's playing it safe, but I think it's good at this point for him to play safe. He can get him a good alliance that'll take him far, I think. Now I am a little bit weary if the Red tribe goes, because if they lose somebody medevac, do you think they're still going to go to tribal?
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I'm like, with how short this game is, I think they would this early in the game. I think they would.
Okay, because like, I mean, I don't see them hitting them with a double whammy. Like somebody goes home, a medevac, and then they lose. But that would suck.
It would really suck.
Well,
yeah, and
it
then
would be great for the yellow tribe.
Huh? Oh, it would be. But then what's his face should have played his idol on Annie.
Yeah.
Right? But the red tribe, I'm a little weary of Sage. Like I don't know too much about her. She's not getting a lot of screen time.
She pees a lot.
She what?
I said she pees a lot. That's
we know that.
In 2 episodes, she's talked about peeing twice.
Right, and she wants to be like a mascot, and she was an Easter bunny or something.
Oh, that was kind of fun.
Like I'm like, she gotta go because what is she doing? Who is she aligned with? We don't know, and maybe that's just because we haven't seen her, And that's that. I'm kind of reading the edit a little bit, but then also like trying to dig into other things as well. But from the edit, I think it would either be her or Juwan. Just from the last episode. I would hate that just because I think that he would be an interesting player. And like, I think it was Savannah might have said that he's strategic and she didn't like him because he used her bag or something. But I think Juwan, but just because he's just not like aligned with anybody at this point.
Ooh, so we got 2 for Juwan. Not looking great for Juwan. Let's see if the ladies are right. Zanz adds in, she asked for people to tell her about their aqua dumps on day 1.
That's true.
Aqua dumps, and I gotta meet Sage. I gotta meet this character. I will say, I have no idea who could get medically evacuated. I know a lot of people are saying Jake. It could be. I think Jake is too obvious. I think the edit might kind of made it look like it was Jake, and the edit is never going to show you straight up who it's going to be. So I think it could be anyone. In terms of who I think, oh, by the way, who I love. Everyone knows I love Savannah. Absolutely icon. Amazing narrator. I am loving the older guys this season. Nate, I think, is phenomenal. And I really love Matt from Hina. Lauren, not a Matt fan?
No, I like him.
I am not a Matt fan. He reminds me of Matthew from Minecraft.
They do give similar vibes, but
it's that PTSD. She had to deal with Matthew, and now she's got Matt.
And then how MC was saying, like, I get the same vibes. Like, there's something about him that I'm not.
Now she's making me nervous. I'm gonna see something and be like, oh, that was Love Island. I don't know if you guys watched Love Island this past season or not, but there was well, now it won't make sense. But there's this girl, Sierra, and she had to be, I'm not going to bring up why again because it was a dark situation, but she had to be removed from the show. And I was like her biggest fan. I was like making TikToks about how I'm like, she's amazing, her energy and everything. And then as soon as she got removed for why she got removed, everyone was like, Randy, are you still like a fan? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it at the moment. Like, I had to backtrack. So I hope it's nothing like that. But I'm like, I'm really loving Matt at the moment, but I'm scared now. And then in terms of who I think's going home, I'm leaning Sage. I do think it's the Red Tribe that's going to lose. And I look at everyone on this tribe. I think Nate is fine. I think Rizzo is fine. Savannah and Shannon are like this. So I'm looking at Juwan or Sage. And Juwan just helped his tribe. And I'm like, what has Sage done? Other than talk about peeing and pooping.
Aqua dump.
Yeah. So, and Kimberly adds in, I hope Matt doesn't pull a Sierra. Yeah. We all hope it. You guys will have to look up the situation.
Yeah, I don't think that. I can't see him doing, or them. I don't see them showing that if that happened.
Yeah. But that is going to do it for us. We have 7 minutes before the episode airs here on the East Coast. I do want to remind everyone we've got a busy schedule right after the show airs. Come back here, myself, Matt, or why did I say Matt? Now I've got Matt in my head now. Myself, Bruce, Abraham, and Josh will be here to recap. I've been off of the podcast too long. I can't remember anybody's names. We will be here to recap the latest episode. I will also talk about the decision that I made that I posted on Instagram today. I wasn't going to bring it up here, but we will talk about that on the after show towards the end of that. And then tomorrow, Survivor Social, 8 p.m. Eastern time, they're joined with Tiffany Seeley from Survivor 41. Friday, we have Stock Watch, our power ranking show. And then Saturday, Josh Wilder, who Lauren is very familiar with, will be back to join the Got Something For You crew as well. And I want to leave, hold on, let me get this off the screen before I move us back over here. I'm going to leave this comment for Lauren here. Lauren is such a vibe. Please invite her again. Please, I'll do a crowd prayer.
I agree.
Lauren, you are invited back anytime, you know that. And thank you so much for being on with us tonight.
I had so much fun. It's always a pleasure to speak with you guys. So I would love to come back. I love all of y'all.
Yeah.
Wish you were staying, Randy, but you know, things happen. But
we will party again. We will talk again. And it's not a goodbye forever. Maybe it's just I need some time of yeah, Tori, I'm not leaving you out. We're all gonna party.
I just want to remind you. I'm here to party too.
Right.
Tori's like, Randy, if you don't bring me up again next time you mention a party, we're gonna have an issue. All right, we've got 5 minutes until showtime. We gotta go turn our TVs on. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We'll catch you guys next time.